Good morning. You are listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by CMG Mortgage, Capital Mortgage Funding. We are MLS number 1820, Equal Housing Lender. This is the Hardcore Mortgage Show, and we have 1 hour coming at you of mortgage life. Okay, we're going to talk about life a lot today, I feel like. But I have my home people in the building with me. Match Realty, straight out of Detroit. That's your main hub. But obviously, you guys do everywhere, Southeast Michigan, the whole entire state of Michigan. I got Andre Abney, I got Sean McLaughlin, and I got Eddie Sabbagh. Sorry, I was like, I'm not going to mess up his name. I'm like, here I am messing up his name. But anyway, all hour long with this crew, they are top producers, not only in the Detroit area, but all of Michigan. And last but not least, the man, not the myth, always the legend, Harry Glanz, right to my right.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Glad you guys are in the studio. And we had Andre in here when he was just a baby in the real estate market. Now, look, he's all
Sean
grown
too,
up now.
actually.
Yeah, they're all grown up now. They're doing a lot of business in Detroit. We're talking about things, sometimes, Becky, when we have people in the studio, the great conversations are off camera, off the radio, off microphone. And we just have a great time talking about what we do every single day and sharing it with people out there because, listen, you've heard it from your mom, your dad, your aunts, uncles, your grandparents. There's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And we try to learn from the ways that people do the wrong things and advise people to do the right things. And what we're finding out, Becky, and we had a lady that called us, both you and I, yesterday, the most recent story is that she went to another lender and they led her down the primrose path of home ownership and signing the contract and doing all these things just to find out that we get the call, we're the second call, of trying to unravel this mess. So we come to you today, and we've come to you for the last 26 years on the radio, an hour a week, just as a consumer advocacy program to try. Listen, you have relationships. Whoever you want to use as your realtor, we'll bring you great realtors like we have. But if you have a relationship with a lender, a realtor, a title company, and it's a strong relationship, go with the relationship. But what we're finding, Becky, is there's so much misinformation out there, and you really got to go ahead and peel back those layers of that onion. Yeah,
I mean, the misinformation is, I feel like it's at a higher capacity than it's been in a long time just because people are using the internet a little bit more, chat GPT, I call it chat GPT. It's not always correct, right? You have to kind of like work through those. But the reason why we've been around for 26 seasons and the people that come in the studio with us, and a lot of them, when I'm bringing them in, it's all about that human element. I have to be in alignment with people that are good people, both on and off camera. What is your character when someone's looking at you? But more importantly, what are you doing when someone is not looking at you? And, anyone at Match Realty, you guys are top tier people, and you don't just lead your people, your clients, in the streets, like just to, you're not transactional. You really care deeply and profoundly about them. So that's why I kind of want to get into all that stuff.
Yeah,
because
let's talk about that story that you have. And then we're talking about, you really feel for your client when you go into a closing or go through a final walkthrough.
Yeah.
There are certain things that you see and there's certain things that should have been disclosed. But why don't you get into that for us? It's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah. So final walkthrough was on Tuesday morning at 11. And my client called me upstairs and she was like, Sean, come look at this. And in the front bedroom, someone had shot through the window. The bullet was in the bedroom.
Like a shot, like a real shot.
Like a gunshot, like a bullet shot.
Let's say it what it is.
Yes.
You can say it,
So the long of the short is we've been in process for 100 days. So I think she had lost a lot of patience. And she was just like, I'm just grateful that we weren't moved in yet and this happened. I asked her multiple times directly, like, hey, we don't have to close. We can give them time to come replace the window to give you that, safe feeling, that secure feeling. But as an agent, for me, I was really like, I don't think we should close. She was out of patience and we did proceed with the closing. Now, the listing agent was wonderful to work with. She sent me the contractor who came to measure the window. They're going to replace it. It's just happening after closing. But a lot of people don't do after closing, right? It's kind of hard to trust that process. So I just think for me, I care about my clients a lot. And just thinking that her teenage son was going to be in that room, I was like, I don't think this doesn't feel good.
Yeah, the thing underneath the thing, it's not about the window.
No.
It's not about anything other than, you felt unsafe for her.
Yes.
And there is many different, and there's two different ends of a spectrum, right? As far as like the perspective of someone purchasing a house and being like, this is the only thing I have. If I don't close on this right now, I'm going to be homeless. But then you're now realizing that this is a unsafe environment with the area, and maybe they did not make the best choice. And so I can understand being conflicted in that moment of, your son's gonna be living here, because 102 days, that's a long time on a transaction, right? And that's what's crazy too, is I want you to everyone to hear that their face will melt off if you take more than 20 days on a contract.
Right.
102 days.
Yes.
It was the city of Detroit's $25,000 grant down payment program. And it's a great program to be able to take advantage of. Right now, there's just so many hoops. There's so many hoops to jump through. And we went through it. Foundation inspection, lead-based paint inspection. I was in there painting the property with her to get it to pass.
Yeah,
and so it was, it was one of those transactions that it's like, I really am fighting. And then to get to the final walkthrough, and that was what was there, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I could tell, in your voice and your demeanor and your body language that you really care about what you do and you're passionate about every single day. It's not just a transaction. No. And that's why, we do this program, because we want to let people out there. That's why it's called the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show, because we'll give you the hardcore truth. We're not afraid to tell you, don't do something. Now, people don't like that, Becky. We get a lot of people when we tell somebody, hey, no, you shouldn't do this, or before you go ahead and buy a house, maybe you want to pay off the $80,000 in credit card debt that you have, because you're paying more on minimum monthly payments and you're rolling these balances. People don't want to hear that.
No.
And it's just something that you're going to the wrong place if you don't want to hear it, right? Yeah. Don't ask me a question that you don't want to know the answer to, okay?
I gotta agree.
So, it's, and I could feel it. I mean, that's what you guys are all about. And we have a real life situation. We talked about the last 2 weeks. We have them on appraisal issues. We have them on sometimes well and septic inspections. And we'll try to say to the people, because we want the people to say, you know what, thank you for saving me on a bad decision. Or maybe I need to get this fixed first. Or maybe I should go down this road before I make the most major single purchase I'm going to make in my life. So it really warms my heart to hear you guys talk about that, because I'm passionate about that. There's the right way, Becky.
Yeah.
And there's the wrong way.
100%.
Yes, there's always a right way and a wrong way. But like what I appreciate most about all of you at Match Realty is you have that compassion, you have a moral compass, and you have the grace and the patience to kind of understand that some of these clients and some of our buyers, we are the only pathway to this like milestone moment. And it takes patience to get there, and you have to get in there. You have to get in the mud. We all do it. And there's so many things that go on behind the scenes to get from start to finish that no one really talks about. You just see like, hey, I got a client, and everyone's like, happy closing day, but you don't like post the things, right? And a lot of people say to me, like, Becky, like, you need to do a better job of communicating just how difficult these things are, right?
Yes.
Because everyone will come to me, like, and Harry talked about it. I'm not the first phone call sometimes, a lot of the times actually, and I was sitting across from another real referral partner of mine, and she said, you know what? She's like, anytime there's a difficult transaction, she's like, you're the first person that comes to my mind. And I said, well, thank you.
Is that a
Can I get
compliment?
the easy
Right.
way?
So thank you. But what happens, where does the layup deal go? So then you get this attached to this stigma of like, you have to be always fighting and pushing and getting things to the finish line. And you kind of lose that perspective. And so it's like, you have to kind of change that narrative, because no one knew that you were out at that house painting and doing the lead-based paint and the foundation inspection and all the things, right? But here you are. And then at the end of the day, now you did all that work, all of you on the team, and now you're concerned for their safety.
Yeah. And when we use that, we decompress with each other all the time.
Yeah.
We throw
It's like
stories off each
it's
other.
group
like,
therapy, right?
Yes,
Yes,
right.
it
So they
is.
sit around and do that.
We get together and we're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
Like we
crazy.
did it,
We made it happen though.
Hey guys, let's talk about the market right now. Eddie, I want to get your perspective on where you see the market for fall and going into the winter. Obviously, summertime, spring and summer always looks great. It's sunny out. It looks good. We're having a great summer. What do you see in the market, in the real estate market, specifically in your area? Where is it going in fall and in the winter?
I mean, it typically slows down, coming into school year. People typically want to be moved in to their homes before their kids start school. So you're going to get a trickle of just slowing down, houses on the market longer. But it gives the buyers opportunity to, purchase homes for less. They have more, they could get more when they're looking at that perspective of it.
Okay. What do you think, Andre?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be optimistic, right? And I'm gonna think like Katie Wheeler. And,
Yeah,
we
Katie.
get busy. We get busier for the winter fall. I like to think so. So we stay out there and we keep trucking along, and we help those buyers who are looking for really good deals. And a lot of times they're finding them during that time. So we keep going. Like I have a lot of listings that I think that if they don't sell by the end of summer, or if they're coming on now, if they don't sell by the end of summer.
You think there'll be a price reduction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, usually. So a lot of buyers come in, they swoop in, and they know that this is their time to make it happen for them.
And Sean, are you seeing more inventory now or less inventory? Are you seeing more buyers? What's the buying perspective out there? Because we still see a lot more buyers out there than properties.
Yeah, I would say that we're mid-August right now, and this year for me compared to last year has been more of a slow burn. I do feel like things are picking up for me right now in mid-August compared to last year. Last year I was slowing down, and now I'm like, okay, maybe people are realizing, okay, the prices are where they're at, the rates are where they're at, and they've been this way for a while. So like I can confidently take the step into home ownership. So I hope that, obviously I would love for prices to come down.
Yeah, right.
Affordability is a very important thing. But yeah, I think that we should have a steady pace through the rest of the year.
For sure.
Yeah, inventory wise, buyer wise.
Yeah, so I want to actually stay on that topic because literally I'm staring at the word affordability right in front of me. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about affordability. We're going to talk about the inventory and rates and what our predictions are with that. So keep it locked in the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Taking all your calls, 248-539-9797. We want to hear from you after this break. Welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by CMG, MLS number 1820. We are equal housing lender. We are back from this break, and right before the break, we were talking about, that elevator moment where you're sitting around the kitchen table and everyone's like, so how's real estate? What's the market?
Yeah. What are rates?
What's the market doing? Right. So you can go really vague with that. We can chunk up, we can chunk down. Obviously, we do this every day. We're in the streets. We don't just play mortgage and real estate on the radio once a week. We actually live, breathe, and do this.
Some people, they do the commercials, but they're not really in the mortgage business?
That is true, yes.
Those guys,
What?
That guy, they do TV and then they really don't know anything about mortgages?
Yeah, it's we really do, when you talk, you call us, you're really going to talk to me. You're really going to talk to Sean.
Absolutely.
You're really going to talk to Andre and Eddie. And, we have Match Realty in the house, based out of Eastern Market in Detroit, but Detroit is their hub. They know it very well. Detroit is always on a come up, but they do everywhere in the state of Michigan, so they know what's going on. We're also a national lender, and we have to understand what's going on just not only in our backyard, but nationally, right? So talk about affordability. The truth of the matter is that the rates have went up a little bit this week, right? And that seems to be always a topic because the average consumer doesn't know what else to ask. But the good news of that is if you look at the rates, they're still less than they were 4 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So it's all about having that understanding, because if you're seeing something printed or on the internet, it's already expired because the interest rates do change. But the truth of the matter is that affordability is a little bit more of it's kind of going in our favor for the buyers right now. So the market, the home prices have went up slightly from June to July, but we're seeing more stability, and you're starting to see more inventory come on the market in a stable way, but it's not flooding to where it is not too much, but it's also not enough to kind of overcompensate for these buyers.
Yeah, a couple things. If you're waiting for mortgage interest rates to come down significantly, it's not going to happen. All right, I'm here to tell you that. And there's a couple reasons why, and I don't say that flippantly or jokingly. I say it very seriously.
Flippantly?
Yeah, very serious about this topic, because the Federal Reserve met last month and they didn't raise the rates, but there were a couple Fed governors that thought we should have raised the rates. Okay, they should have raised the rates. So the next meeting is September 15th and 16th. And on the 16th, they're going to announce the results of that meeting. I believe that they're going to hold them steady again, but that's just me. And I'm predicting that, but I'm not going to tell you that that's the gospel. And I'm just A, hoping, and B, it just has to stabilize, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So rates right now are somewhere between 6.5 and 6 3/4, maybe 6 7/8, in that range. Mm-hmm. They're going to stay in that range on a 30-year fix, give or take. Okay. You're not going to 4. Okay, but you're not going to 8 either.
Yeah.
So you're right in that range, and if you're waiting for them to come down to make your move, it's just not right. You're going to miss out on the properties that you want because you're just going to be constantly on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. So you're working with buyers that are waiting for a house, right? They're ready to go. They're just waiting for the property. The people that are waiting for the rates to come down or prices to come down, they got to wait in line behind everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to be waiting forever. Yeah. More than likely, unless something happens.
No, it's tough, but it's been this way for the last 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah. I bought in 2019, and my rate is a 2.25. That's that's why I still live where I live, because affordability wise, it's a little bit difficult to uproot from that, right? But yeah, I think I'm going to next year is the intent to do it, because that's where the market has been, right? And
correct.
If it comes down, great, but I'm not waiting for it to go up.
Right. Well, I want to stay there too, because what we're talking about is the unlocking of the golden equity handcuffs, right? You're staying in a house, right? This is a typical scenario of the normal consumer we deal with is, a seller anyway, where they have a house, they have outgrown it. But the idea of foregoing that interest rate to step up into the next house or even step down, let's just say it's too much house for somebody and they need to, right size. It's difficult for someone to wrap their brain around letting go of that interest rate for a 6% interest rate. But at the same time, the focus needs to be we're securing the price point of the home, because the market still has been steadily increasing. Now, we're not going to see those jump ups between what we saw in 2018 to 2020, for example. But I bought my house in 2018 and my market value has doubled since then, right?
Yeah,
so
same.
You can do the right thing at the right time, or you can do the right thing at the wrong time. Yeah. But at any point in time when you have naturally outgrown your house, it is time to move, but you have to have, the right kind of mentality around that, because whether you're step up, step down, people are still coming up empty handed.
Yeah, 100%. That for me, I've been focused on the strategy for about the last year and a half, right? And how do I want to do it? I used to rent my house out. I'm like, should I pull this equity out, put down on the next one, make a rental again? Do I want to sell it and not deal with that at all? But it is a great position to be in.
Yeah.
Either way. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the real perspective, though, is like if someone is looking to purchase right now and the home no longer serves them, we're going to look at it and say, okay, can we retain this property and start building your real estate portfolio? Or do we forego that because you bought it, at a really good price and you have a really good interest rate? So that means that your actual equity has probably increased exponentially. So you can actually, some of these people are paying cash for their houses with the equity, or they're putting 20, 30% down, where in a normal case, like they're not the first time buyer anymore, obviously, but you can utilize that money and you don't have to live in a house that no longer suits you.
100%.
Yeah, I guess what we say, it all depends on the situation.
Yeah.
So it's all situational, kind of like baseball. It's everything's a situation. And it's what's best for you.
Yeah.
If you have a house and you want to keep that house and rent it out and start building your real estate portfolio, if that works for you from a cash flow purpose, go ahead and do it. But if you need to sell that house and you want to get into another house and just take the profit from the other house, it's a math equation and it's a lifestyle equation.
Yeah.
So what's good for Becky might not be good for you, Andre.
Yeah.
What might be good for you might not be good for me. So we'd sit down and we'll do the math with somebody and map it all out. We'll have a plan. You have to have a plan. You can't just go in, fly by the seat of your pants and say, hey, I know this is going to happen in 30 years. And no, it doesn't work that way. You got to plan it out, and we're there to help you. But the great thing is about real estate, and we see it all the time, we talk about it. If you chart real estate back, all the way going back to, as Becky would say, the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. It's always been the way that you can build and continue to grow, because there's only been, 2 or 3 times?
6 times total since 1940. Thank
right,
you.
Yeah, that it hasn't been a good move, but it might not have been a good move temporarily, because it always is a good move in the long run. So you have to look at real estate as a long-term play.
It's a long game.
Yeah, so right here, owning a home is a long game play.
Thank you. I wrote that.
I have it wrote down.
Thank you. I wrote that. You wrote that.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Proven
Yes.
system that works.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. And the truth of the matter is too, I had a client call me last week, and he finally was like, I have been renting for the last 18 years, and he was waiting for this moment to happen where the market was going to bottom out again, or whatever he thought in his mind. And he finally realized that now he's waited so long that he almost priced himself out of the market.
Yeah.
And there is pros and cons to everything. Renting makes sense when it makes sense, but again, it's the long game. Owning real estate is something that everyone should aspire to obtain, right? I'd rather park my car in my driveway than someone else's driveway, because I don't have any control over that driveway.
Yeah.
They could call me tomorrow and say, hey, guess what? I want to now capitalize on the profitability of my home, and I'm going to sell it. And now I'm stuck kind of reacting to that, because we get those calls, right?
Yeah.
We get buyers that are reacting to their landlord saying that I want to sell this property, and now we're trying to qualify them, and they never really took the time to save the money or fix the credit, and they just don't know what they don't know. So it all starts with that conversation.
Here's the great thing about buying a house. Okay, you can come up with 5% down or 3% down, or there's 1% down programs, and we're your 99% partner. You're borrowing the money. You get to live there. Yeah. You get the appreciation. You get all the advantages. Yeah, you have to keep up the house, pay the taxes, all that. But remember, you're borrowing the vast majority of the money. You're using somebody else's money to go ahead and build your own wealth. And you know what? If you read every money advisory book, every motivational money book, they'll tell you, always use somebody else's money.
Yes.
So think about it. When you pay rent, you're paying somebody else's rent, mortgage for them, and you're building their wealth.
Yeah.
So renting is good, but it's got to be short term.
Yeah.
Yes. We had some actually calls coming in. So is Mike ready over for us right now? Oh no, Mike is not ready. We're getting people ready. So we got some calls coming in. So if we do want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, and the reality is that like we talked about, rent does make sense when it makes sense, and then it doesn't. But there are a million different programs. There's, like, as I like to say, there's more programs in the history of ever to help someone buy a house, but you don't know what you don't know. And I actually took a call 2 days ago where someone was shopping other this down payment assistance program that, like, I'm one of the top loan officers in the state
free
for
money.
this particular program, and they were shopping me against the program, and I was like, it is what it is.
The program is
It's
the program.
free. Take the money.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, the rate is locked in. The down payment assistance is locked in. You can either take the money or you cannot take the money. And, so it's like, it's just that lack of education
100%.
and that communication where people are just not getting misinformation.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andre.
No. I often wonder why this is not.
All right, hold on. Wait, we got Matt. Matt, are you on with us?
Yeah.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, I have a little bit of a weird situation. A couple months ago, a house became available to me, and only me. It was a situation where the person passed, and I have a connection to the neighbor who then took care of the property, so they had a connection to the person who inherited the home. And as kind of a favor, they offered to sell it to us directly by owner.
Okay.
So we would save on that. And the house I just got the appraisal. The house came in for $67,000 over what she's asking for us, which is awesome. But when I started talking to many lenders to try and get the best rate and do my due diligence, and I came across a guy who was by far and away the best one. The house is in Carlton, so it's a USDA loan that I was looking at because it's more rural, and he quoted me a rate of under 6
Okay.
at the time, and that was 2 months before the house became available, or we wanted to close by September 1st.
Okay.
So we started to get down to the nitty gritty about 4 or 5 weeks before, and he now, basically now we're kind of running out of time, and I don't want to distress the owner who's doing us this great favor, giving us this house for a great discount, and now all of a sudden he said there was something in the system. I don't know, I don't know much about on their end, but it was going to be 0 points on his end, on the lender's end, at 5.875, I think is the rate. And all of a sudden he said that they had problems, and then the rate was 6.5. And so now I'm paying a rate of 6.5 all of a sudden, and now it's too late. I'm too late in the process where I don't want to go to the homeowner and be like, hey, can I delay this? But I now don't know if I trust the lender.
Well, that is, it sounds like a good bait and switch to me. Because when were they quoting you 5.875? I kind of need to know that, because 5.875, like, no points hasn't.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. Exactly. I'm still looking for it.
Well, he said I can name the institution, but I don't.
You don't have to do all
don't
that.
do that.
That's okay.
Did he talk about your credit? I mean, I'm going to assume your credit didn't change from the time that he quoted you, because it's credit driven and everything.
No,
yeah,
it was great, and it was in June. It was in, I believe it was in mid-June when he quoted that, maybe early June.
Okay, so here we are, like 2 months later. So that means they never actually locked your rate in.
Yeah, why didn't you lock in the rate then?
Well, I was still comparing lenders. I was still like searching for what lender I was calling to get what rates I could get. And so I didn't know if I was going to go through him. I mean, I assume they can lock in the rate anyways then, right?
No, I mean, so just so you know, typically a rate is attached to the property, not the person. So we do have the ability to, like us personally, we can lock in on what we call as a TBD, to be determined property. We can do that. So obviously if they knew that you were in this negotiation process, it could have been handled much better than they did, because rates have went up over the last month. Okay, so that's unfortunate that they didn't have that open dialogue with you as you were kind of progressing through this.
Yeah, he kind of told me he would know if the rate would go up, and then he said when he went to lock it in that there was a glitch in their system or something, and it had gone up to 6.5.
Yeah, there's no glitch.
Yeah, there's no glitch.
There's no glitch.
Unfortunately for you, Matt, there is no glitch. And even more unfortunately, I wish we would have been one of those phone calls for you, because we could have been navigating this with you. Carlton's right in my backyard, actually. It's very close to me. I think depending on when you guys are trying to close, I mean, it might not be too late. We might be able to step in and kind of, blaze a trail and get this done very quickly. for you, see if we can do a little bit better on the interest rate and all that stuff. So I will call you after the show to see if there's something that we can do to help assist and make it not painful for everybody. Okay. All right. So yes. So that was a great call. Thank you very much. We're coming up against break. We have calls awaiting. So when we come back, we're going to take all your calls. 248-539-9797. Keep it locked in. We'll be right back. Okay, with the music. Okay, sweet dreams are made of home ownership. And if you want to be a homeowner, you better call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, because we just took a call right before the break, and it is unfortunate that there are people out there giving misinformation. There is no glitch in the system. That information and rate was mishandled 1,000%.
Yeah, let's address that just for 1 second.
Yeah, now we're going to get to our other calls. So Rick and Tim, please stay on the line.
I don't want to bash that, but to use the phrase, when you're talking about interest rates and locking it in, there is no glitch in the system. That's just a bad terminology. That just is designed to make you look sketchy when you use terms like that. If the guy would have come out and said, "Hey, listen, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I quoted you a wrong rate. The current rate is X." That's way better than coming on the phone and saying, "Hey, man, I know I told you this, but there was a glitch in our system." Okay, come on.
Yeah, that's...
so anyways, that's really the beginning, middle, end of that, Becky.
Yeah, all right, yes, that's true. And there's a lot of other things we need to unpack on that one, but I don't want to... Yeah, so let's go to Rick in Dundee. Rick, welcome to the Arco Mortgage Show.
Hello, how are you?
Hi,
Good.
thank you
Hi,
for
Rick.
being patient. What's going on, Rick?
I just have some questions. I need some advice. I bought this house in Dundee. I thought it was a good investment, which I think it is. It's a duplex. I live in one side. I rent out the other. I bought it for $220, but I'm getting priced out in this insurance. The house is built in like 1880. It's downtown Dundee. It's the old part. It's updated. It's very nice, but they're insuring this thing for $1,060,000 because it's replacement value. It's like pricing me out. I mean, it was hard to throw when the cap came off after 2 years because the people that owned it before, she was a realtor. I bought it off a realtor. They'd owned it for 20 years. So it was, I knew the cap was going to come off, but so they reassessed it. And so my payment went up in 2 years, $800 a month.
Okay. Yeah.
But now it's the insurance issue because, materials aren't going to go down. Labor's not going to go down.
Have you
So
called
every
and
year
shopped the
I'm gonna
insurance?
get-
Hey, have you called around and shopped the insurance? Have you checked it out?
I have.
You have. So
I have.
So it's legitimately
There's
through
no-
every
there's no
insurer.
break.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rick, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't disagree with you. Right now when I'm qualifying a buyer, the first things that I'm having them do now is start shopping for homeowners insurance because the cost for homeowners insurance has went up exponentially. They even set me on my own
It's a
house
racket.
for
It's just a
$3,000.
racket
It was
is what
crazy.
It is because
yeah, it is crazy. I
I've
do
never
agree with
made
you.
a claim.
Yeah. Now, when did you buy this house?
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
What?
Okay,
Yeah,
and then
it's
is
like
taxes and
2022.
insurance included in your payment right now?
Yeah, and I was short on. I had to refinance right after 2 years because I couldn't afford the $800 increase. It was my fault because I didn't have it rented out. I was trying to, fix it up and whatever, which is it's fine. It's rented now and it's been rented for most of the past 2 years. But I mean, it's like I was supposed to try to be making money off this place, and because of insurance keeps going up. It's just, Dundee. Yeah. I think Dundee's going to be booming soon, and it kind of really is. But
no, it's very there's a lot of history in Dundee. Because I'm very familiar with Monroe as well. I used to work in Monroe, right on the Pleasance for quite some time.
My mom used to work at Hassett Title. She worked there for 40 years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Hassett Title. It's been around for a million years, 1,000%. So
Hassett, Dan, and Doug.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. They're part of my family.
Yeah. So Rick, what I'm going to suggest is we have a lot of amazing homeowners insurance partners that I think that we can maybe get you contact with. And I know maybe you made a couple phone calls, but maybe we can kind of step in and give you a couple people that might be able to even just ease the pain a little bit. And then we can also give you a call after the show. Obviously, we're not going to want to, refinance you to death, obviously, but there might be a different way to reset the escrow on that baseline to maybe ease some of that tension. But I'm definitely going to get you in contact with some of our homeowners insurance partners that we have. And we have no ties with them other than they just do a really good job and they offer competitive rates. So if we can help you in that capacity, we're definitely going to give you a call and help you out with that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I just wanted advice if I could sell it for more than get a good profit off the house, and I'm willing to do that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that
condominium in the country.
You got to take a look at that too.
Yeah, we're going to look at all
angles,
all sides, all It's multifaceted. It's not just one answer. So we'll definitely hook you up with the real estate agents that are in the room with us as well. So that was a great call because that is very true. Homeowners insurance, and I'd love to get one of our agents in here because homeowners insurance is crazy high right now.
It is crazy.
They're doing the drones, they're looking at the roofs. There's a lot of things that are happening that no one's really talking about, but it draws a direct line to what someone can truly afford for a property.
110%.
Yeah.
Detroit insurance, I have out-of-state lenders quote $100 a month. And when I see that, I pick up the phone and I say, hey, I would use $2,500 to $3,000. Conservatively, if it comes in under that, then you're better. But
yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna address this in a deep dive, but I don't want to keep Tim waiting any longer from Rochester Hills. Tim, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Show.
Hi guys, great show.
Thank you so much.
I had a quick question. So I wanted to throw out a scenario and get your advice. So I have $240,000 owed on our home at a 3.5% rate. I'm looking at possibly putting $100,000 against that. What I wasn't sure of, and I wasn't aware of, is that you can actually call your lender and get your payment reduced. So because you're putting down such a large amount, and I just want to get your opinion on that. And how much would that affect the payment if you've had a 240 and you're putting $100,000 down? Because I wasn't even aware you could do that until someone said that is a potential option.
Hey, Tim, I have a question for you. You have a 3.5% rate. You have $100,000 worth of cash burning a hole in your pocket. You want to put it down. So that's like you taking $100,000 and investing in a 3.5% note rate. My question to you is, do you feel there's another investment vehicle that you can get a higher return on $100,000 than 3.5%? You need to consider. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's a great point. I think what we were trying to do we're a little bit older, my wife and I, we're trying to get our mortgage down to a really much more manageable or healthy level for our future. And so that was kind of the rhyme or the reason behind it.
Yeah, so the next question I would have would be is if you are thinking that way and it makes you sleep better at night where you can lay your head down on your pillow and you know that you threw $100,000 at that and that's what you want to do. But really what you're doing, and either way is fine with me, but I would tell you that me personally, if somebody called me up and said, hey, I have $100,000, what do I do? Do I pay down my mortgage? I would say, if it makes you feel good, go ahead and do it. But also for the future, if you could find a vehicle, you might want to talk to a financial planner, investment counselor, whoever, and say, can you get me after tax better than 3.5%? Now remember, you still have that money. You could pay it down anytime you want. Right?
Yeah, good point.
So that's your money. Hold on to your money as long as you can. Keep it where it's going to make you money. You want your money making you money. Mm-hmm. Now, so again, get your team involved, get some people involved, and you have to do what's best for you. Again, I'm all for the peace of mind thing, if that makes you and your wife feel better, but I would like my $100,000 to make me money. Because guess what? Gotcha. 3.5 isn't going to come around any longer.
No, yeah. And to go back to your original question, what you're referring to is a recast.
Yep,
So recast is normally a lender it's like for a $300 fee, you can put that directly applied towards your principal, the rate stays the same, and then your payment is recalibrated around that. But at 3.5, you're not going to see that much of a difference in your payment, right? So typically for every $1,000, it's going to affect your payment by $7 when the rates are in the sixes, right? So you're not going to see this like dramatic difference in your payment. I mean, you're going to see a difference. It's going to be substantial, but depending on what your guys' finances are, to Harry's point, if we could turn around and take that $100,000, make you more money on it, and then if you guys can still pallet the current payment for a little bit longer, you can make some money on that $100,000, and then we can always look to, either pay the house off in cash for whatever the remaining balance is. There's different ways that obviously we want you to look at it, but we're going to help facilitate whatever we can for you. That's
Tim, let me give you the last scenario that I will tell you. What you're going to do here, it's just you and I in the room. Nobody's listening. It's just me and you, and you're my friend. And I say to you, hey, Tim, give me $100,000 right now, and I will give you $70 a month back. Would you do that deal?
I follow you. No, I get what you're saying. Right, exactly.
Okay, so you wouldn't do that deal. I wouldn't let you do that deal, right? So if that's the number, we can go through the math with you. I'm certain. I love your rate. I love the fact that you have 100 liquid, that you want to do something with it to improve your life and go to bed and sleep at night. But I would just take a look at all my options. That's what I would do.
Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate your honesty and your guidance on that. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it,
for sure. Thank you for the call, and thanks for always listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. This has been an exciting first 45 minutes. When we come back, we're going to continue to take your calls at 248-539-9797. Keep it locked into the ticket. Thank you. Welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. I am Becky Alley. I'm in the studio with Andre Abney, Sean McLaughlin, Eddie Sabbagh from Match Realty, straight out of Detroit, Eastern Market. They do the things, they are the things, and they're amazing people. They are top producers in the area. And we are a national lender, and we're here to continue to take your calls. And we've actually had a lot of really good calls throughout this last hour. I kind of want to go back to the first gentleman that with the Carlton thing, because there was just a lot of things that we didn't get a chance to dive into real quick. Matt. So Matt, we're going to talk about Matt. So, it was an off-market property. Someone gave him the tip-off, as far as, to buy the property. Was he under contract? Was he properly represented? And, and then the lenders, alluded to the fact that he was getting a rate in the high fives and it was never locked in. And now here it is weeks before closing and he's getting a 6.5 rate.
Yeah.
So there was just not a really there was a lack of honesty like we talked about. And, and that does happen in the industry. There are good mortgage lenders and there's bad mortgage lenders. There's good real estate and there's bad real estate. And then sometimes good people have bad days.
Yeah.
That's fine, right? Yep. And the market did jump up with the rates very suddenly. I would say late June, a little bit. We had a big spike in the rates, but it wasn't that exponential. So when that happens, you can be, it's not okay. Don't feel like you're trapped.
Yeah.
And you can still kind of, when you're a couple weeks out for closing, you can seek out the advice of a professional. And we're going to be honest with you here. We're going to say, hey, I can step in and I can help you, or no, I can't, or you just ride it out, but don't feel like you're stuck, because buyer's remorse is a real thing, just like seller's remorse is a real thing. And it's, we want to make sure that people are having a happy transaction and not being resentful.
Yeah, he's getting a good deal on that property.
For sure.
Right? He's getting a good deal on the property. He's just getting the, he's getting that,
equity?
the bad, he's getting the cringe on the conversation. He's getting that cringe on the conversation because it was worded poorly. All right? If it's communication, listen, you make a mistake, you come out and say, hey, I blew it, I made a mistake. It's not 5 7/8. It's really 6.5. And you apologize and you move on. All right, you can't. There's no glitch. It's a bad word in our industry. You just don't use that kind of word. It's like my doctor coming out. I had surgery. I had surgery and last year, and the doctor comes out and he says, "Yeah, I kind of nicked something I shouldn't have nicked." Okay, that's being honest. So, hey, my man, go back in and take care of it. Okay, just take care of me. That's all I want. He didn't come out and say, hey, there was a glitch.
No, yeah. That's...
And by the way, true story. That's a true story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Plus another way to fix it, which I'll give you. If he's getting into property at very under asking, you can always bump up the purchase price, ask for concessions, and get that rate right back. So there's different ways to do it.
You'll call him and you'll let him know what his options are, and we'll just give it to him.
And just because you're in a for sale by owner transaction does not mean you cannot hire an agent to represent you. Because I wonder when he had a formal contract put together and what that process was like for him to be able to send to the lender, hey, I'm under contract on this property. Right. So that's, you can pay agents.
And sometimes, and that was another thing too, is like I say this often on the air too, is you can make a million phone calls and you eventually will find someone that's going to tell you what you want to hear. And obviously this gentleman was told something that he wanted to hear as far as rate, because I'm telling you, when you hear 5, it sounds really cool instead of a 6. Yeah, a 5 in front instead of a 6 sounds really freaking cool.
5.9999999.
Yeah, so but the reality was it was never there, and he was led astray. So sorry about that, but we're here to fix the thing. So I do want to kind of kick it around a little bit. I want to hear something like, you guys can say whatever you want. Like, I have certain things that like set me on fire where I'm like raging or I'm like really happy about a certain thing. So like, I want to hear from each of you, what is like setting you on fire this week? Like something that happened or something that's on your mind. Like, Andre, I'll start with you. Like, what is setting you on fire right now?
This week, I think it's kind of like what we were just talking about. It's like, I've become a listing agent this year for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So on some of my deals, just the lenders are over promising their clients and they're not getting them through to closing. So at the very end, it's a disaster. And then I have to have Becky come in and save it on the other side.
All right. Yep.
You know what I mean? To make it make sense. So that has been getting that
out of control. You're seeing it's out of control.
And one particular example is, I know Andre has a house that he's been trying to sell for quite some time, and there was an FHA case number, and it was as simple as the FHA, the appraisal was already done. All they had to do was transfer the case number, and that just the case number alone was taking 45 days.
Yes.
Crazy. So I was like, hey, like I can step in and get this done like lickety split, and and like and it's not my buyer, and so like I'm just like letting everyone know like I can step in and help that. But those are like, to a testament what he's saying, like those are the things that are happening right now
behind the scenes
for sure. Okay,
yeah.
Sean,
Miss
what's
Sean, what's setting
fire?
you on fire right now, girl?
Ooh. No, there's a lot of things that set me on fire, but I think the biggest thing that's setting me on fire is I have a lot of buyers that I'm attempting to help, and financial literacy is the thing that's setting me on fire. We talked about ChatGPT. People are using TikTok. Asking a human, your mom, your aunt, your uncle, is a great thing too, but a little bit of an outdated experience. I am fired up in how to educate clients when I have a first call or consult with them, and it's not shoot the messenger, because sometimes I feel like I'm a Debbie Downer. But really, I operate from a space of, hey, this credit fix isn't going to happen overnight. You're not going to save $10,000 overnight, but if homeownership is your dream, like, let's actually work at this together. So I find a lot of my days, 9 to noon, spent having those educational calls, and I'm just trying to figure out how to be the best source of information for people.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's one thing I'm going to be in alignment with you, because, we've been doing this. We do this every Saturday, unless there's a holiday, day in, day out. We also do it 7 days a week as well. And I find that each week that we're on here, I realize that we're still not touching enough people.
Correct.
Like, we have this vast platform, and we're still not connecting with enough people, because if someone makes that one phone call and they get someone that's going to just hurry up and try to get them off the phone, because doing that deep dive to home ownership, it does take time. And, and then you're trying to deprogram someone that has this stigma of, like, I'm not worthy of home ownership. I'm not worthy of good credit because no one ever taught them. And then we're trying to undo like decades of things in just a short phone call. So I do agree with you. That does set me on fire too, Sean. All right, Eddie, what's setting you on fire right now?
What's setting me on fire in a good way, actually, is just honestly first-time home buyers.
Okay.
I love working with them, and I've actually been diving into the 55-plus community. South Line, New Hudson, which I really love. And I've been working alongside Kim Champ, a realtor out there in the industry. She's been showing me around Colonial Acres, and that's what's really set me on fire. I've been really enjoying that.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like opposite ends of the spectrum. You got first-time buyers, and then you have like where it's a 55 and up. So like that's their right size, right? That's like where they're kind of like going to like settle in.
Yeah.
And and then also that collaboration that you're mentioning, right? Where she's not a part of Match Realty.
No.
Right? And so she is like allowing you to kind of like shadow her and, kind of, get into that community with her. And that just goes to show that when you're in alignment with the right people, that there is enough for everyone to go, to go around. And a good voice is louder than any, like 1,000 people, shouting. So I love that you're having that experience within the real estate market. That's like in a totally different way.
Go South Lyon East High School. Let's go
Hey.
out there. Let's go. It's my team. Let's go.
I love
Roll with that.
collaboration.
Yeah.
Well, that is the end of our show. I
It's
want to hear what you're setting on you on
well,
fire.
so here's
actually.
the good thing about Becky. She didn't ask me what sets me on fire, because every day I got so many things. We don't even have 4 hours to talk about what sets me on fire. But what's setting me on fire in a positive way, you guys are great. Love you. What a great show. Great conversation we had. Very easy getting along with you guys.
Yes,
Appreciate
absolutely.
Thank you guys for having
you guys
us.
did great.
Thank you to all of our callers. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We are here every Saturday from 8 to 9, same bat time, same bat channel, and we will see you next week.
What sets me on fire? Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't.
I'm Becky
TikTok,
for Becky, Haley,
reels.
Harry
Forget the
Glanz, Andre,
reels.
Sean, and Eddie. We will see you soon. Thank you.
Woo!